everyone, and welcome back. Thanks for stopping by again. These weeks just go past so fast. I wanted to do something a little bit different today, and I wanted to give you a little pep talk. If you've been listening to this podcast for a little while and you've been on the fence about doing improvements to your home or a full-scale renovation even, I just wanted to spend a little bit of time chatting that through with you, because I was having chats with a couple of friends the other day, and they were both saying that they would do certain things to their home, but they were too worried about finding the right people to work with and finding the right builders, and they'd heard so many horror stories, etc., and that they would be actually really keen to get somewhere that they could make exactly how they wanted, whether that be with an extension or with internal reworks, but they just didn't know where to start. And similarly, on another note, I was having a chat with a lovely journalist earlier in the week, talking about mistakes that people made in their kitchens, favouring design over practicalities. And don't get me wrong, I'm all about the design and having something that looks beautiful, but obviously we live in these spaces. They have to be hardworking, they have to be practical, otherwise your life just ends up a pain in the bum. You know, picking the wrong materials or the wrong size of things or just the wrong items for how you live. Take, for example, a conversation I had the other day about outdoor seating, and someone wanted to get lovely galvanized outdoor chairs and tables, and they were really beautiful, they look lovely, but stick them in a sunny place for a while and you are really going to burn yourself sitting down or having your arms on the table, for example. Similarly, the chairs had arms to them, so you need so much more space to get into a chair that has arms. They're generally bigger anyway than chairs without arms, but if you've got small space, you don't want to have to be pulling a huge chair all the way out to be able to get around and your bum down and in between these arms of these chairs. You want armless, so you can just slide into the side and just pull them out a little way. So much like these sorts of things, design has to go hand in hand with usability and practicality, and where the sweet spot is obviously is where those things come together, because then not only can you visually appreciate a space, you can appreciate how nice and effortless it feels to live in it as well. And with that in mind, I think too many of us put up with stuff for too long that's awkward or annoying day in, day out. Just a very simple thing like a drawer catching or a sticky lock, or just things that are irritations throughout your day that could be fixed and made so much better. We all hold a lot of things on our plate, especially women. We've got a big fat mental load sitting up there, and these little irritations are just the extra niggles that really make a day not go great, versus a day that could just be made a lot better by easy living. Easy living, actually, that's a good word for it. So I wanted to give a little pep talk to anyone that's finding themselves in that position. If a room just isn't quite working for you, if a house isn't just quite working for you, but you're finding it difficult to find exactly what you want and what would work for you, do work. Just get some budget set aside and put some thought and effort into it and do the work. It's not as scary as it may seem. There are people like us around, interior designers, who can massively take the load off, either straight from start to finish, or we do design sessions. It's a couple of hours either at your home or on Zoom, and we can go through and help with any of both these dilemmas, but also crises of confidence. We can also suggest great builders to work with, great tradespeople to work with. I know a lot of people get put off by doing things because they hear so many horror stories, and yes, there are a lot of horror stories around. There are some really crappy builders and trade people out there, but there are also some really brilliant ones, and our homes are such enormous parts of our lives, and it's a real shame to live with certain elements of them that are frustrating on the daily or on the monthly or whenever, for fear of the sort of effort or the level of decision making or all these sorts of things that come with making changes. So if you are a bit paralyzed about what to do in a space, but you really want to do something and it's bothering you and it crosses your mind all the time, then speak to someone about it. If you feel that getting help would get you over that hurdle, because you'll be so glad when you are the other side, or break it up into little chunks and just make a single decision each day to get yourself to where you need to be to make those changes. There's support out there if you're doing bigger. This sounds like a self-help thing, doesn't it? But it almost is in a way, because changing your environment makes a huge difference to your state of mind. It really does. That's why we go to these stunning hotels and stunning locales with lovely views and with rolled up baths and all this sort of stuff. It's because that really lifts our mood. And I'm a big advocate of, if you've got a busy job and work is quite hectic and other things are quite hectic and you don't have much time, then the time that you do have in your home and to just relax is really important. So you want it to feel like a little oasis. You want it to feel like it is perfectly catered to you, because who else would it be catered for? You're the one that lives there, and it needs to be restorative as it possibly can be, I feel, because it's just such a great resource there to help with certain rituals, to help with chilling out, calming down, having time with friends, having time with family. So many opportunities can be made of creating that same feeling at home. Again, why wouldn't you? So, I guess in a nutshell, I'm doing this because I know this is late. I know I normally put an episode up on a Thursday or a Friday, but I've had the worst cough, which is still a little bit with me now. That was massively putting me back, plus a wisdom tooth. So all in all, not really the best get up to be chatting in. So I'm better now. Well, excuse me, almost. I'm going to start coughing again. Hence why this episode is a little bit short and a little bit late, but there will still be another one on Thursday. But yeah, I just wanted to say that because it was on my mind and I feel incredibly passionate about it, that regardless of budget or situation, there's so many things that we can do to improve our spaces that we live in and just generally make everything a happier, more enjoyable experience just by putting a little bit of time and effort into the thought process, and also giving a shout out to both my services and also, there are plenty of other interior designers out there that offer things like e-design and design sessions and stuff as well. And they really can help on that side. I mean, the majority of our work is full service, but we do smaller sort of consultation for rooms and things as well. So don't think that your space is too small to warrant putting some effort and some thought into, because it is always valid. And I just wanted to say that. And I'm going to sign off now because I'm going to start coughing again. But hopefully by Thursday, my cough would have completely gone. And it's not COVID, by the way. I've done a test. Although I'm sure everyone around me thinks that I have clearly got COVID, because you cough nowadays and you just get biggest evils from everyone. I also wanted to give you a little reminder that we have another floor plan workshop on Thursday evening. It's an evening because I know a lot of people are busy in the day, and we had a few people ask to do it again in the evening. So 7:00 on Thursday, and we'll put a link in the show notes to that. If you are about to do some work and keen to look over a floor plan, to get a bit of advice, to know some do's and don'ts and some important things to think about, then sign up to that, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. So by Thursday, I'm really hoping I'll be back to normal and we'll have a normal episode for you. But in the meantime, I just didn't want to leave you completely. I know that, your week would have been completely wrecked if I hadn't got a podcast out there. So have a great week. The sun is finally back out. It feels like we're over this hump of getting spring on the way. And I'll chat to you again later in the week. Bye.